Suddenly piece yourself back together now. What's your vision?
Welcome to Next Tops. Top 10 of everything. We will post our top 10 viewers' photo to our channel. If you want your photo on our channel, then follow these simple steps.
Like, comments, subscribe and share.
Then send your photos on our Facebook page.
Link is in description.
Thank you. Today we are counting down top 10 PC games of all time.
Number 10.
If you are a game enthusiast, then this game won't need any introduction. It was the game that revolutionized the first-person shooter platform in PC gaming. The game released all over the world with a blast. However, there had been past FPS games developed by many companies, but none of them could match the graphics and other effects of this game. Everything about the game was flawless at the time of its release. No doubt it deserves a spot in the top 10 PC games of all time. Like its predecessor, Half-Life 2 is a single-player first-person shooter.
On number 9.
BioShock is a first-person shooter video game developed by 2K Boston, later Irrational Games, and 2K Australia, and published by 2K Games. The game was released for Microsoft Windows and Xbox 360 platforms in August 2007, a PlayStation 3 port by Irrational, 2K Marin, 2K Australia and Digital Extremes was released in October 2008, and an OS export by Feral Interactive in October 2009. A mobile version was developed by IGFun.
On number 8.
Gears of War is a video game franchise created and originally owned by Epic Games, developed and managed by the Coalition, and owned and published by Microsoft Studios. The series focuses on the conflict between humanity, the subterranean reptilian hominids known as the Locust Horde, and their mutated counterparts, the Lambent and the Swarm. The franchise consists of 5 third-person shooter video games, which has also been supplemented by a comic book series and 5 novels. The first installment, titled Gears of War, was. Please subscribe our channel and don't miss a single video.
On number 7.
Mass Effect is a science fiction action role-playing third-person shooter video game series developed by the Canadian company BioWare and released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Microsoft Windows, with the third installment also released on the Wii U. The fourth game was released on Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in March 2017. The original trilogy largely revolves around a soldier named Commander Shepard, whose mission is to save the galaxy from a race of powerful mechanical beings known as the Reapers and their.
On number 6.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is an open-world action-adventure third-person shooter video game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It was released on April 29, 2008 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 consoles, and on December 2, 2008 on Microsoft Windows. It is the 11th title in the Grand Theft Auto series, and the first main entry since 2004's Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas. Set within the fictional Liberty City, based on New York City, the single.
On number 5.
According to the developer, the game is not meant to be played in the traditional sense, in that there is no winning strategy. In fact, much of the gameplay requires the player to choose the losing path for the sisters to run into encounters which they, and the player, are meant to experience. Even the story narratives are not typical for a game. As explained by the developer, we are not storytellers in the traditional sense of the word. In the sense that we know a story and we want to share it with you. Our work is more about exploring the narrative potential of a situation. Please like and share this video. Thanks.
On number 4.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a first-person shooter video game. The player can perform several actions, including jump, sprint, crouch, lay prone, and aim down their gun's iron sights. When the player is shot by an enemy, blood will splatter their heads-up display, HUD, denoting that they have taken damage. If the player avoids gunfire by taking cover, then their health will recover. The HUD also displays other information, such as a compass, a mini-map, and the player's current ammunition count. The game features traditional.
On number 3.
Mass Effect 2 is an action role-playing video game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. It was released for Microsoft Windows and Xbox 360 in 2010, and for PlayStation 3 in 2011. Mass Effect 2 is the second installment of the Mass Effect series and a sequel to the original Mass Effect. The game takes place within the Milky Way galaxy during the 22nd century, where humanity is threatened by an insectoid species known as the Collectors. The player assumes the role of commander. Please don't forget to leave your comments. Thanks.
On number 2.
The game revolves around 3 species: the Terrans, human exiles from Earth; the Zerg, a super-species of assimilated life forms; and the Protoss, a technologically advanced species with vast mental powers. Wings of Liberty focuses on the Terrans, while the expansions Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void focus on the Zerg and Protoss, respectively. The game is set 4 years after the events of 1998's StarCraft: Brood War, and follows the exploits of Jim Raynor as he leads an insurgent group against the...
Finally on number 1.
The game retains Portal's gameplay elements, and adds new features, including tractor beams, laser redirection, bridges made of light, and paint-like gels accelerating the player's speed, allowing the player character to jump higher or place portals on any surface. These gels were created by the team from the Independent Games Festival-winning DigiPen student project TAG, The Power of Paint. In the single-player campaign, the player controls protagonist Shell, awoken from suspended animation after many years, who must navigate the now